Girl, your love is sweeter than kiwi. I can be your Adam, you can be Eve. I'm gon' bite that apple, believe me. I've been searching hard for your love, like a miner digging for gold. And if haters were the ocean, we would stay afloat with the boats. And if you were four tires, I would let you ride on my road. If I were your stripper pole, would you work me until I'm rusty and old? Oh yeah, right. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Right. Baby girl, it's you and I. Yeah. Baby, I won't leave your side. Right. You my ride or die. Yeah. Like a diamond, we will shine. Right. Baby girl, it's you and I. Yeah. Baby, I won't leave your side. Angel face with angel eyes, you must be heaven sent. Our hearts had a collision and it, mind you, left a dent. This love is meant to happen, girl, it's not an accident. So if you give me your heart, I promise I will represent. You're my pieces, I'm your puzzle. You're my rain, I'm your puddles. You're my teddy bear like Snuggles. If it's team us, let's huddle. We can be strength in life struggles. You're my red nose with no muzzle. I can be the product, you can be the dollars. Girl, let's orchestrate this hustle. Oh yeah, right. Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Right. Baby girl, it's you and I. Yeah. Baby, I won't leave your side. Right. You my ride or die. Yeah. Like a diamond, we will shine. Right. Baby girl, it's you and I. Yeah. Baby, I won't leave your side. Flying directions, you would be the destination. If I were an
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
And your best friend could be your worst enemy, folks. Good morning, welcome wherever you are. You are in tune to the Costa Morning Show, bringing live from Lee and Kevin Street here in Central Monrovia. It's good to be back here this morning with a special edition of the show. So wherever you are, however you are joining us through our various platforms, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on where you are joining us from. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of things to talk about this morning. Yeah, a lot of things to talk about this. Buakai Amara Kamara, I'm pretty seated here for you this morning. And today is the 12th day of the month of July 80, 2023 with a totally really the rain is pouring here in Central Monrovia since last evening, but it's good that we are back here this morning to bring you breakfast on this show. To all of our charitable followers, those that have that trust within us and keep following the show, we just want to say thank you. You know, sometimes we step on toes, we go the other way around, but you keep having that faith in us and making us to have that confidence and keep pushing one way or the other. So let me say thanks to all of our charitable followers. You may like us today, you may hate us today, but you are stay there with us and being that loyal follower of the Costa Show. It's a thanks and appreciation to you. So the outgoing American ambassador, yeah, Malcolm McCarthy, spoke finally yesterday. He gave us his parting press conference. He had a press conference, and it was his final interaction with the media, and he says a lot of things in that press conference, wherein it was going to the government of Liberia and folks within the opposition bloc. According to Mr. McCarthy, let me see. Let me go to what he said yesterday in his press conference. Wow, all of the internets are giving problem this morning. Let me see what I'm trying to get to it. Just bear with me a bit. But he expressed his disappointment in the government and the opposition bloc by accepting to work with sanctioned officials who are, contesting on their various political parties' ticket. Yeah, Mr. McCarthy said they feel betrayed, they feel downhearted that after all they have done, the Magnitsky sanction and do whatsoever from the treasury of the United States of America, but still we Liberians, the Liberian people have resolved that they will still elect people that have been sanctioned in this country. Okay, let me just read. I say outgoing U.S. Ambassador McCarthy described a senatorial nomination of sanctioned individuals as extreme disappointment. Once again, this is the message. He said, outgoing U.S. Ambassador McCarthy described sanctioned nomination. That's a sanctional mentions of sanctioned officials and individuals as extreme disappointment. The U.S. Ambassador Neil Moreover has expressed disappointment about political parties nominating sanctioned individuals on their party's tickets ahead of the October 10 general election. Speaking during his final press conference on Tuesday, outgoing Ambassador McCarthy said the U.S. Embassy found it disappointing that political parties are political parties are about to renege on the issue about the global Magnitsky sanction. According to Mr. McCarthy, the U.S. State Department of Treasury spends many hours and significant resources to approve sanctions on individuals, noting the embassy fully trust and respect the validity of the Treasury Department destinations. The U.S. Embassy, through the Treasury, they spend their time, their finance, they spend everything. They spend everything.
Play the video.
In getting this sanction on individuals that were involved into corruption. But now, we citizens of Liberia, most especially political parties, are resolved to let go of the Magnitsky sanction and say yes, to hell with that, man. We don't care about our Americans, even though the Americans are our number one ally. Even though the Americans are our biggest donors and supporters. Even though the Americans stand for what they believe that is in the best interest of Liberians. But we Liberians say no. We don't get time for that. The issue about morality, the issue about, trust and confidence. We Liberians, we just don't have time for that, Americans. We won't go the way we want to go. We don't care. We don't care. Let us contest again on party ticket. So the Americans are frustrated. They are downhearted. They feel betrayed by what's happening in our body politics. So the ambassador said, it's disappointing. It's totally disappointing that they took their time, their funders, their effort to get to where they are today. But the Liberian people have let them down. We are focused in electing sanctioned officials. Who are those sanctioned officials? The leg of Prince Johnson, the leg of Nathaniel McGill, the leg of Bill Tuawe, the leg of Simon Serena Cephas. All of them. Bill Tuawe is contesting in Riverside County on the CDC ticket. Nathaniel McGill is contesting in Magibi County on the CDC ticket. Prince Johnson is in Nimba County, a strong ally of the opposition Unity Party. So here we are again, Liberians. Here we are. You know, there's a quote that when somebody is helping to wash your back, you should fight hard to wash your stomach. But for us here in Liberia, we don't care about that. We just don't care. Before I go any further, let me say good morning to Big Brother. That's Mr. Gonglo. Let me say good morning to you and welcome to the show. You've been following. I guess you follow the article published by Front Page Africa, and the statement made by the U.S. ambassador expressing disappointment in our political parties that are allowing sanctioned officials to contest on their party's ticket. The Americans are frustrated and they are expressing their disappointment in our body politics. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Waka. I was just saying to you when you were talking that it might be very good for us to play the ambassador's statement because I know Front Page Africa. As I just sent a text message to George. We can play just a portion that he's addressing the sanction issue. Because it is important so people don't think that those who have not had the opportunity to listen to the ambassador, so they don't think that we're probably just embellishing information here. I actually listened to the ambassador last night. I was struck by the sincerity and the seriousness with which he expressed those concerns. I mean, when he said there is a difference between the embassy and the Department of Treasury. Am I still connected, Boaka? What's happening? Oh, changing power. Yes. Switching power. Welcome.
Uh, yeah, sorry about that.
Switching power.
Yeah, we had some technical problem here. So that's it.
Like
Yeah,
so,
I'm
like I
trying to.
was, yeah. So, like I was saying, um, I think it's important. You play maybe just a portion of the ambassador farewell statement. When he addressed the press club in Monrovia. Um, it's important for our viewers to just listen to that portion because some may think that Boaga is expressing his opinion, or maybe front page Africa is adding few words to the ambassador statement. But I think it was very striking when he actually did say the Department of Treasury put in time, hours to do study and also to just come to that conclusion is no small work. I think for the United States ambassador to make such a statement, for me, I think that should be very instructive for the those institutions, particularly Ambassador Boykai and President George Weah. I think they should rethink their stance on the sanction in individuals and institutions. I think they should rethink their strategies and stance on them. Because like I always say, like we say in our country, the before the tree falls, the first thing that it casts is a shadow. So, I mean, if you want to be the president of Liberia, or in the case of President Weah, you are the sitting president of Liberia, and your business is to know global tradition, I think it's something to reflect on. That
Okay, so
you don't have
we get
respect
it.
for global
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, we get it already. So let's just play a quick. We're going to the portion.
And humbled that so many people are here this evening. Like, who's running the country right now? But I thank you so much for this honor, and it really is a reflection of the warmth that we have received since the very first day we got here. This is just another consistent piece with how warm and friendly Liberians truly are. And my wife, on my way here, she said, "You better include me when you make statements like that." So I thank you so much for your openness and your warmth. Serving as the U.S. ambassador to Liberia has been absolutely the honor of a lifetime, and I will treasure memories from my time here for the rest of my life. I also thank you for allowing me to use that freedom of speech that you treasure so highly when I speak with the newspapers and the public. And as the foreign minister said, few countries appreciate free speech as much as Liberia. I wish Liberia in all her endeavors, and I would be delighted to hear of a renaissance of foreign investment and a burst of industry in Liberia. I'll be following closely, I'll be watching, I'll be hoping, I'll be praying. The people of Liberia are ready, and this country is so full of potential, and I can't wait to see it happen. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you very much, Ambassador.
I don't think this. Sorry, I don't know which one that he spoke in there, because there was just a thank you. I'm trying to get a referral video, but you get it there. We are trying to get a referral video. I thought this was the referral one. Where the Algerian ambassador spoke about. Okay, so we are trying to get that video where the Algerian ambassador spoke about Liberian government officials, and yeah, he said, according to him, he said the U.S. embassy near Monrovia has expressed disappointment about political parties nominating sanctioned individuals on their party's ticket ahead of the okay. Somebody just send me it quickly. Right. Okay. This is it. Now that's
So thank you for joining our final press roundtable with me before I depart. I would like to start by correcting two statements that I previously made. First, the use of the word nonsense during the last press conference without fully appreciating how the word is viewed in Liberia. And frankly, thank you to some of you tried to stop me. Some of you were saying, "Whoa, do you really want to use that word?" I said, yes, of course I would. But I must say that this phrasing may even have clouded the delivery of our important message, which was, if the signatories sign the Farmington Declaration, they should honor their pledge and not be physically provocative or promote violence. These people need to stand by their pledge. That's what I was trying to say. So enough said on that. Secondly, I discovered that I used the wrong dollar figure in my press release after my trip to the Southeast. I wrote that Parliament had spent $65 million on itself in fiscal year 2022. I'm sorry, that was the wrong figure. From the unaudited statements of consolidated fund account of the calendar year 2022, released by the Ministry of Finance and Development, we can now see that the correct figure was $90.8 million for Parliament in FY22 out of a total budget of $811.6 million. So that figures out to around 11% of the national budget was spent on Parliament. Next, I would like to address the false reports that the U.S. Embassy was asked. These are false reports saying that the U.S. Embassy was asked about nominating sanctioned individuals for office, and that the embassy replied that this was okay, this was all right.
So he's just making some clarity on things that happen on his watch. According to him here, he said there have been this false report in the media that the U.S. Embassy was asked about sanction officials to contest on party ticket. This is incorrect. So let's continue to listen to this.
Well, the embassy is not okay with it. And we find it disappointing that political parties are nonchalant about the global Magnitsky sanctions. The U.S. Department of the Treasury spends many hours and other significant resources to research and approve sanctions on each individual. Though the embassy is separate from the Treasury Department, we fully trust and respect the validity of these designations. The fact that no Liberian government entity has even formally taken up our accusations to initiate an investigation to determine the veracity of U.S. government allegations, this is extremely disappointing and discouraging. That said, if the voters of Liberia wish to elevate to public office individuals who've been sanctioned, that's their prerogative. This should also prompt the listener of whoever was telling this story that we said it was all right to question anything else that they may have said at the same time. So at this time, I would like to say that I hope you all and the Liberian public recognize my genuine care for the country and the people of this country.
Okay, so Mr. Gongolo, that's it. You listen to the portion where he said the news that have been in the air that the U.S. Embassy or the Americans said they have no problem with sanctioned officials contesting in the upcoming elections. That is not true. They spend their time, their energy, their finance on sanctioning officials, and Liberian people are playing blunt art to that, and they are going about accepting them to contest on political parties' ticket, and also we, the ordinary Liberians, are behind them, asking them to contest for positions in our various counties and our districts, and they are now being confirmed by the National Elections Commission to contest in various districts and counties. So that's the voice of the U.S. ambassador.
Yes, Boaga, thank you. I'm actually happy that we had the opportunity to play this for our listener to listen to him. It's coming from the horse's mouth, so it's not our words. We may try to interpret it, but like many of us have said, and what we said is, our country is a very troubled country. Liberia, look at our neighbors. Look at the progress other countries are making. Countries that we got our independence before them. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Guinea. Look at even their infrastructure development. I'm not saying there is no corruption in those countries. I'm not saying you don't have bad behaviors in those countries. But I think they take their country serious. We went through the same civil war like Sierra Leone. How many of RUF people were elected in the parliament in Sierra Leone? Let someone on the live few give us that figure. If RUF people were elected during the first election that followed the end of their civil war. I'm not too sure. I've heard other accounts from some Sierra Leoneans that no RUF person was elected. In fact, they were chased out. Yes, they fought a government. Yes, some of them had legitimate reason to fight. But because what they did in Sierra Leone, they were resented. Sierra Leoneans rejected them. Sierra Leoneans went for accountability.
Yeah.
We in Liberia decided that, yes, you kill my man, you kill my pa, I will vote for you.
For you.
In Liberia, we make a bad choice. Oh, he's corrupt, but he's our own corrupt person. We need it. On this very show, I made a statement on few individual and on another show, and I got a call from two other person, and they say, I thought you know these people. Why will you talk about them? And I just laugh. I said, it's not my words. I was just saying things that were already what you're out there. I didn't send them to the meeting. They went to the meeting. I just say, oh, this person was at the meeting. I was not at that meeting. I saw video footage. I saw pictures, and I just said it. They say, because you know that you should not have talked it publicly. And I just, it reminded me when I got, and I said, oh, wow. So this is how we think. Even if your friend saw something that maybe that friend has a difference of opinion on that, you can't talk your opinion in Liberia. It means you hate the person. It means you are attacking the person. Even though you're just talking about things that actually happened, you did not cause it to happen. You had no part to play in it. Or why you dare talk about it in public? So Liberia is a very troubled nation. No wonder our education system is poor. No wonder our health system is poor. No wonder our civil servant, we hire the best least in our country. I mean, no wonder everything we do in our country is the least. No wonder. Because we don't even have it, we don't value merit system in the country. That speaks to what we're doing here. If you look at the arguments some quote smart people have made, people who chastise others on other issues and call for accountability. When it comes to the sanction issue, guess what they say? They say, oh, the man here was now on the sanction. Oh, crimes are not transferable. But if you read the Malinsky sanction, it's very clear that no one should do business with these institutions, with these people, And some of our presidential candidates are taking photographs, sitting in meetings, sitting in the same program on the same platform, and giving a chance to this individual to address their political rallies. And they say, oh, President Weah is doing it. Because President Weah is doing it, doesn't mean someone who say, I want to replace President Weah because he's not doing the right thing. So, I'm going to be like Weah too. Then you're not qualified to replace Weah. If you want to be like Weah, then you're not qualified to replace Weah. I mean, somebody can disagree with me. But if you say President Weah is not doing the right thing, President Weah has sanctioned people on his list. Okay, I can do business with the sanctioned people too. What makes you different from President Weah then? And Boaka, to just close on this topic, there is a fellow that used to appear with you guys on the Costa Show, Larry Kennedy. You remember him?
Yep, Larry.
Okay, Larry Kennedy actually, Mr. Kennedy made a post this morning, a very important post, and not just made a comment on that. And Larry actually took an old post made by Senator Darius DeLong in 2017. He was not senator then. And this is a post Darius DeLong made. He said, reject this ticket. That was the Bwaka Nuko ticket. He said, reject this ticket. It represents everything that is bad for our country and our people. And in the picture you see that Bwaka and Nuko raising their hand. Bwaka raising Nuko hand. And what did he call it? He said Corruption Incorporated under new management. That's how you call Bwaka Nuko ticket. That this is a Corruption Incorporated. So this morning, Larry made a post. Larry said, and I'll read it, it's very brief. He said, like Biden, you were referring to the US President Joe Biden. He said, like Biden, this election is a battle for the soul of Liberia. It's obvious that we are looking at the reincarnation of the wicked ticket. He's talking about the Bwaka ticket. He said the long wars still hold true today. Back then, it was a bad decision to select Nukwe. Today, it is a dance with the devil, a corrupt and incompetent coon, and a de facto vice president. The sanctioned warlord Prince Johnson. The Bwaka read the global Magnitsky sanction on PYJ is tend to save the soul of the state. And Larry Kennedy spoke this morning. And for me, Larry is someone who has worked for the federal government. Larry understands, he's a finance person. He understands how the Department of Treasury works. And for me, Larry making that comment this morning, in fact, I tried to share it, but it's not shareable. So I downloaded that picture and just reposted it. Okay. I mean, he's a Liberian scholar. For him to speak, and this is the guy who was coming on the show supporting Joe Bwaka. I don't hear Larry talk about Joe Bwaka again. And I think the statement this morning speaks volume. And I hope those who want to replace President Weah are not acting like we are. Because that does not show the difference between you and President Weah. If you are Weah like, then for me, you are not qualified to replace him. Because we want a complete change, not a partial change.
Okay, so that's the voice of people of Gonglo. The issue about the U.S. ambassador's statement, it comes two ways. The Liberian is left with we, the Liberian people, to make that decision. Some may say crime is not transferable. Someone say that crime isn't transferable. But with the support of Prince Johnson to the Unity Party is the issue here we are discussing today. And selecting Jeremiah Kuhn without the support of Prince Johnson, it could have given the Unity Party a tough time in winning Nima County if we do go for the election. So now here we are. The Joe Bwaka hand is start up. We are here where you say that you dismiss, you remove those that were sanctioned by the U.S. Embassy. You remove them from their positions. So my question to Mr. Weah, our Ambassador Weah, is that why did you remove those that were sanctioned by the U.S. Embassy from the position without sending them for investigation? So what is the essence of you removing them from that position? That's number one question. Because a leg of McGill will not be sanctioned by the U.S. Embassy, then you say, yes, I will take action against McGill. McGill go and sit down and rest. McGill go and sit down and rest, but later on, McGill come again and contesting on your own CDC ticket. That's just a slap in the face of the Americans. That our government is not serious for the issue of corruption. That we are his gang, they are not even serious to fight corruption. Imagine us giving the leg of Weir another 6 years. Just within this time, just the first term, the bucket for corruption, they gave you Weir second term. What becomes of the country? Wherein Ambassador Weir is no longer thinking about re-election. What become of Liberia? What become of this particular country that we all say we love? What become of Liberia? You know, sometimes we, the young folks, sometimes it becomes so discouraging, so frustrating that when you put in your all to see that change that you want, and people are there, not going the way that you think it should be going. For instance, the opposition, if they think that the way they are proceeding, the way they are handling issues, will get them to the seat that they want to remove George Weah from, Mr. Gonglo, it will be a very tough ride. Number one, Weah have the budget under his control. Weah have the finance, our resources. Weah do have it. Weah have the manpower. Weah have everything under his control. Weah have the military. Weah have the police. So sometimes it becomes so frustrating that when you sit, you think that, this country or the ordinary citizens, this is what they want. But the top hierarchies will say, no, this is not what we want. They think the ordinary citizens want, the hierarchy, the top people will say, no, not what we want. We want it this way. It becomes so difficult for the ordinary man to make that decision when there is a division within the political arena. Now, what I'm trying to say, the coming together of Joseph Boakai and Alexander Cummings was a clear-cut winning for the opposition. You know, Mr. Gonglo, the Liberian people welcomed that ticket until the guy was so worried that he was already finished. The Liberian people welcomed a Boakai and Cummings ticket that everything was just like overnight in the country. We were just waiting for election day. That's all. That's how the Liberian people welcomed that ticket. But later on, few days, few weeks before we look, we started seeing division. We started seeing them falling apart. Then the ordinary man would sit and think and say, oh, if we just entrust these people that we think that they can serve us better, now they are being divided like this, what become of our country? Those are some of the things that the ordinary men would think. What would they resolve to now? What would they resolve to? What would the common men would resolve to? Well, just say the only thing that we can do is just to give Weah another second term. Because the opposition have allowed themselves to be used by top hierarchies. They, you say and I say, have divided them. This is not about me. I'm not so specific about who political party, who win or who not win. I'm talking about my country. I'm talking about we, the youth. Look at how our young folk generation, how we are being damaged by drugs. The top hierarchies are not even thinking about that for us. They are not. If they are thinking, they will put their hands together. They will put themselves together and say, "Oh yes, we want the betterment of our society, our youthful generation." But they are not. You can be supporting you can be supporting Mr. Gonglo, Councillor Gonglo. You can be supporting Alexander Cummings. You can be supporting the Joseph Boaka. You can be supporting the WIA. The thing is that who can we trust with the country come October 10? Who next? Will it be the same WIA? Will it be the Gonglo? Will it be the Cummings? Will it be the Boaka? Who can we trust again? Who can we trust to turn things around for us, to make this country a better place, so that when we get up to the morning, we shouldn't hear say, "Oh, this is happening." We shouldn't see dead body on the street. We shouldn't see people killing, people attacking, people, our youthful generation being carried away by drugs. It shouldn't happen. So this message from the ambassador, well, I read it yesterday. I sat down and say, "Hey God, why is it that we Liberians are not learning from the international community, other countries, wherein just for a common lie, just for somebody to say, oh, they Fumia belong to me, but I mistakenly left the phone with Mr. Gonglo. What about I didn't leave the phone with Mr. Gonglo? Just for a common lie, the people can resign their job in the Western world. But here in Liberia, we don't care about the issue they call integrity. We don't care. The leg of McGill, the leg of Bill Twawell, the leg of Prince Johnson, we are healing them today because we all are protecting our own criminals. The Union Party protecting their criminals, the CDC protecting their criminals, the ANC protecting their criminals, on and on and on. Then we say we want better for the country. We have a very long way to go, my people. We have a very long way to go. That's just what I can say. Mr. Gonglo, I know you want to come in there.
Yeah, Waka, let me just you continue you end your statement. I had an interaction or chat with a very good friend of mine last month. I think that was in June, the middle of June. He's a big Waka supporter. But I also know in the past he has made a lot of posts about Jeremiah Cohn and about Prince Johnson. But I seen him talking all the good things. So I just inboxed him. I said, "Hey, so what changed?" He said, "Oh, the thing that changed is because PYJ now support Boakai. Cohn now support Boakai. All the views I heard about them before, all the things I thought they were on the wrong side of history. They were on the wrong side of Liberia. They were doing the wrong thing. Today, I now believe that they are doing the right thing." So I said, "Okay, so what do you think about me?" He said, "Oh, no, now you're doing, you wicked. Why are you not supporting Boakai? You wicked." So I said, "Okay, so how will you think about me in 2029 if you and myself on the same side?" He said, "Oh, once we get on the same side in 2029, then you're going to be the best person." And I just smiled. I said, "Look, what you're saying to me, that is really what makes Liberia a troubled nation. We protect anyone who comes on our side, regardless of the person's check-out records, regardless of what we know about that person, regardless." So what it shows to me is if Thomas Fala, the chairman on Ways and Means Committee that got a university today, and by the way, Boakai, if you check the record, most of the people beside the church-owned universities in Liberia, individuals that own university in Liberia today are all lawmakers. And they never owned them before they became lawmakers. They all got rich in while serving government. If you look at the records of those who have become millionaires in the last 20 years, Boaka, they've all become millionaires out of government, not doing private business. So what they do, they come in government, steal our money, all of a sudden they become a big farmer. They got cocoa farm, they get palm farm. They are trying to cleanse the money. What they're doing that they are involved in money laundering public service, take the money and say, look, if I just keep this money in the bank, if I buy all these properties, people will say, how you got this? You are never making business. So I will establish some farm and put some of the money there and say, hey, I'm a big farmer. But they were never farmer before they got elected. They were never doing that before they got elected. Okay? If you look in Monrovia today, Sir Joseph get, I think, university, or I saw one big structure. Thomas Fowler get it. Coombe built a hospital. In fact, the account that Coombe alone got about 25 houses in Monrovia. I understand Jefferson Koji is probably renting one of Coombe houses on the Prince Avenue. So all these guys got wealthy under in government. And for me, it's trouble. For us to even bury that and say, we have to leave these people. Look on the WIA equation. See how many of WIA government officials, the property they've acquired. Look at that. Yet we play blind eye. And there are all the Liberians who say, hey, WIA is the best. Okay? How can such a country make progress? We cannot. Because if people like Councillor Gonglo Vice presidential candidate Dr. Yuri Yakpaglo demonstrated during his acceptance speech, he took a kola nut and he used a kola nut to demonstrate that this kola nut represents our natural resources, our everything. And he took a bite from it. He said, the legislature will take this, and there's a piece left. The executive take this piece is left. So when they cut, what is left now to build clinic, school, better salary for teachers and health workers is little. He said, this kola nut, and use a kola nut because at least kola nut is something that in all the tribes, why they use kola nut to welcome guests, and they eat, many people eat kola nuts. So he used a kola nut as to demonstrate on what is happening in public service. While Liberia, it is what it is. And it is a sad thing. In a country that the citizens collectively, at least majority of the citizens, are not prepared to stand or to die, to even go for hunger, even for a week or a day, to say, we will be on hunger strike until this happens. We will do this. Then we're not prepared to sacrifice. Even if you call for just a little demonstration, when rain comes, the demonstration is over. Everybody runs away. For me, that represents how we think about our country. So Liberia is just like the kola nut. People go there and just, you give it to the guests, you just cut your own. It's like the elephant meat. People just go there. There are people, those of who live in the U.S., who go to Liberia. See what we do. We pay taxes here. But many Liberians who have built mansions out of their just earned money in the U.S., in Europe, in Australia, they don't pay taxes on the houses they build. Mm-hmm. Many government officials in Liberia got big mansions. They don't pay taxes on it. And I'm proud. I'm one of the Liberians. I built my little house. And I walked to LRA. I said, I got a house. Come. I want to pay real estate tax. And I have a lot of students working at LRA. One of them said to me, Prof, why you want to start paying your house taxes on your house? It's way in the bush in Mangibi. I said, I think it is the right thing to do, because if I'm going to be talking about government, why government is not doing this, I should say I'm paying my taxes, even though I'm not working. I'm working in the US, I'm paying my real estate taxes in Liberia. I should do that. How many of us want to do that? Not many. Not even people who are currently in government being paid by our tax dollar. The bill mentions they don't pay taxes on it. For me, it shows how much we don't even love that country. We only pretend. On election day will come, we'll give liquor to these kids. They say, oh, give qualitative, give this. And that's what we do. How does that change the country? We change your country with a changed behavior. If we don't change our behavior, even after this election, I listened to one of the talk show hosts, Eugene Fagon, who used to say the worst things about Boakai in 2017. In fact, there is a video where he was trying to discount Ambassador Boakai education. I have that video. I watched and I just smiled. But see what he says about him today. I don't fault him for saying what he's saying, but for me, it shows that what he said in 2017 was just bullcrap. He was just, sheer nonsense. He didn't believe it. And probably what he's saying today, maybe he doesn't even believe it. We don't know what he'll be saying in 2029 about another person. Okay? That sort of behavior, it actually epitomizes what Liberians do in our private lives, in our national lives. And it's so terrible. If you take one talk show host and say what they say about people and follow and just construct a continuum and mark it and say at this point, this was the president. And you look at the graph, you just say, wow. And that behavior, that picture represent what generally many Liberians do. And no country is going to make progress on that. If we are a country who just change by the day, by the rainfall, by the sunshine, by the day, by the night, nobody takes us serious. And the politicians understand us. They understand the behavior. They say, oh, don't worry. I love that song the guy made like he said, what money can do. And Liberian politicians understand that song. What money can do. They come and pay the money and change everything. Money can do everything. And it's sad. And then sometimes, for me, I just get a little bit worried, and I'm happy that I have an alternative, that I can live in this country. I have an alternative that my kids can go to school here. I'm happy for that. But I'm also sad that I have my brothers, my sisters in Liberia, that kids can't go to better school. Very sad.
All right. So, folks, we'll open the phone lines on 0770-102-102, 886-010-383, 555-102-102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Yeah, those in the diaspora, the WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Call and be a part of the discussion this morning. You could be out of the country and want to phone path. It's +231 888 624171. Let's take this caller here. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, brother.
Yeah, your name. Hello. Your name is joining us from your name.
The level of financial was running in Kenya. The former Paris, to carry the carry. And then Kazu, who from what the Minister of Finance, the General of the area with you. The level of the Kenya is showing about 40 years ago, 27. Today, now the period that Kazu is carrying on the article. That's what you started for the court. At the end, carry for the only pay the put the party carrying that thing on the article. Going to be the same as the previous party, going party when it's a police, the marketing party with the city government. The level of national market, the support, you're paying only a ticket. Where is that going into? One guy is taking people at the level of the level there was a Congo, the level of development, that's when I put our head talking about the new money made to the party. These are people with credible record in international thing. But can you let it put the book that go power? No, we are all criminal. Most like God is still educated to do all criminal. People saying that they want to attack the whole people to win election after election, you will lose. Where is that? These are stupidness. We don't need to go for anything in the country. But anyway, we'll try to make some decision towards that.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, and that statement, that brother, the caller just and I actually agree with him. You know, I mean, I know Hassan Kezlu, he actually made that statement. I was in Monrovia at the time. He said he bought his vote. He said he paid the people. In fact, there was a dumb, I think some citizen in our district was saying he can't visit them, he can't hold meeting, nothing. And he said, I pay you to vote for me. You know, that was his response. And now in this election, he's running in Kemon, not in the same district, because he didn't really care for them. You know. But again, that's what you get. Nobody cares for Liberia, so I mean, it's what we get. Very sad, though.
All right, so the phone lines are still open. +231 888 6241 71. Call in, and you will be a part of the discussion. Let's take this person on line one. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Bakai.
Yeah, my
name is Swallow Kamara from Minnesota.
Okay, Swallow, go ahead.
Bakai, you know, that country, only God can bless us right now, you know, because like we are spending for every journey study to come corrupt the system. People say that she was the best person to come and make different. And she can't do the same thing. And she comes from the same claim that will say she was clean. Now, the gentleman you see there, he said, your brother is a clean guy. Who knows more when you put in there, they're going to do the same thing. So, it doesn't matter. People that will know them, any talent today will know. Who know that any talent going to corrupt? Because he can't different. Nobody knows the background. He can't got there. So if you want to know the person when he become a president or a leader. Yeah. Now, like what they're saying, everybody right now, they bet opposition job. We are everybody there. Their opposition is Joseph Bakai. Because this guy sit on the city, they only attack Joseph Bakai. They forget about the ruling party. Okay. So I don't really know what are they friendly Joseph Bakai or are they want to move job we are. That's my question.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'll answer you.
All right, let's take another person from this line here. Good morning, welcome.
Hey, brother, good morning.
Yeah, Nima joining us from, brother.
This is Jerome Nelson joining you guys from Fargo, North Dakota.
Welcome, Jerome.
You know, yeah, I listen to a program every morning, and I listen to Costa press conference yesterday, and there are a few things came to my mind. You know, I just want Liberians who believe that Liberians are not nice people. Liberians came from nothing. And it's just so sad with the kind of country we have in our population and what we are going through. Honestly speaking, like what Mr. Gongo just said, you know, we all feel like that, especially for those of us in the diaspora today. We all feel like that. Thank God we got alternative. We can like stay in this country, America, and build and help our family, and our children can live out here and just be Liberian with Liberian for Liberian to do what they want to do. You know, it just so sad. Look at the health system in Liberia. Look at what is going in our country. All politicians from one place to another. For me, I will be honest with you guys. I am a former citizen. I voted for CDC back the time I came to this country. And I told my friend I can never be a citizen anymore. But at this point, trust me, I prefer George Weah going for the second term. And let my brain people real feel the heat and know how much the Americans are disappointed in us. That's the only way that country will grow. That's the only way we'll get our behavior. But I'm just so disappointed.
All right.
And like brought for you today, it can just shake me. Thank you for the time, man.
Thank you so much for calling in. Let's take another person from here. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Your name is joining us from?
This is Bud Dino. I'm calling from Cedar Rabbit.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you, Baka. I don't know. Let me say this quickly to all Liberians. I'm a sympathizer of Unity Party. I'm members of both. Listen, this is modern politics. Let me tell the Unity Party people, in America here, if you are a potential president, incoming president of the country, don't be afraid of attack. No Unity Party member. Yeah, okay, for real. In America here, Calebo is aware. They are playing the modern politics in the world. Joseph Boakai is a potential president and a front runner in Liberia in this coming election. Nobody, no Unity Party member should be afraid or should be that, oh, they're attacking Joseph Boakai. No, they're not attacking him. They are making him strong. Any president, where is out? President Where is out? Joseph Yuma Boakai is coming in as a president. Anybody that attacked Joseph Boakai, they are promoting him. And the Unity Party member should go around to attack Alexander Cummings. Let them lead the other people. Let them lead the other people. They are not a potential president of Liberia. Joseph Boakai is. So Unity Party people, anybody attack Joseph Boakai, you attack Alexander Cummings, and attack George Weah. Nobody should be afraid. Kerebo is aware. Kerebo is my big brother. He's my big brother. So nobody should say, why Kerebo is talking this one? Kerebo, our brother, is in a raid. Jeremiah Wapper is in a raid. Alexander Cummings is in a raid. So why are they afraid? That's if you don't have the text here, then get out.
Okay. All right.
Get out. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. We take some more calls. Yeah, let's take this person. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, brother. This is Wahud calling from Springfield.
Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Wahud.
What is going on in Liberia is a very, very sad one. Because most of our voting population and the people you see behind these criminals, holding them and supporting them, are people who do not really know what life is. They were born during a civil war. And so they think giving our hand out a few dollars here and there is life. And so what we need to, the question we should be asking ourselves now and to Mr. Gonglo in the studio is, what do we do about this situation? This is a critical issue. Because the issue is allowed with the voting population. And because they don't have the kind of education that they require, that's why they keep voting these people into power. So what we need to do now is probably we need to get into the lower classrooms in Liberia. To educate these people that it is not okay to take that in bucket. It is not okay for you to be giving them a right during election season. It is not okay for you to live in darkness and not have election city. These things are not luxury. It's a human right issue. So maybe since you are an educator, we need to take the conversation for we need to elevate this conversation as opposed to just taking on social and talking and we're not moving the needle. Maybe we need to get on the ground.
Okay.
Maybe we need to mobilize. Maybe we need to organize ourselves and put the resources into this and get into classrooms and teach the people in like what I say. Everything that's going on here is wrong. It's wrong for you to be defending and supporting your oppressors and your abusers. They don't know that. They don't know that they abuse.
All right. Thank you so much.
Get into the classroom.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's take this other person here, James Davis. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Mr. Gonglo.
Good morning, my brother.
Brother, you see, I always get a problem with Mr. Gonglo because when they ask them for the prosecution of Prince Johnson, they can't answer that question. because they are afraid for Prince to run campaign against them in Nima. And one of the
No,
really
that's
county
not
is
true.
really
Prince
county.
is one
The
of
hundred presidential and vice president candidate they carry in the election. So how would they win? We are. And only Nima candidate will vote against we are. Like, we are. Because they get Jeremiah Kun, they get the other guy running with Kamara, that get they get a vice president candidate, they get Gonglo. All the people there. To me, look at their represented the position. One district they got over 7 candidate, 8 candidate. Why? To me, they are the more greedy people. Even they're causing most of the problem here. Okay. Because Nimaka is a rich country, so all of them they want to go this one. When you ask Gongo Nana, what will he do when he become president tomorrow? Will he president presidency? Nana, he will not answer it. Okay. Thank you.
It's not true. If I may just respond to this caller right away, Waka, before you take another call. That is not true. When Councillor Gonglu was asked his question, nowhere else but in Nimba, he said if he's elected president, he'll go by the law. He said what? Because what you may not know, and I need to remind you, when you were president of the National Bar, what the bar did was, working along with the international community and the civil society organization, they submitted a draft bill to the legislature. It was Honorable Gompu Kagon who received the petition. They petitioned the House to pass into law a special tribunal law for Liberia. Because of what happened in Liberia, it happened like how many years ago? It happened even before the Rune Statute. So based on that, Liberia has to have a law in order to hold people accountable. That law, that draft bill is in the House. Now, according to Yeke Kolba, because Yeke Kolba is one of the representatives who has also signed on to that. He said, I think about 47 lawmakers in the House have signed on it, which is more than 50% of members of the House. And I think there are a few people in the Senate who have also signed on to that. I think Darius Dolan is one of those who has signed on to that. So the only reason why he has not moved is because the CDC government decided not to move it. Buffer Chimo and what they call the other man, Abba Chie, decided not to put that on the floor. They have floated the document in different offices. Many lawmakers have signed. In the Senate, less number have actually signed in the Senate, less than 50% in the Senate. But it takes Buffer Chimo to put that on the agenda of the House. So what Councillor Gongo has said is that if he's president and the legislature passes such a bill, he will sign into law. You know, and that's the route Liberia has chosen to go through. Because we didn't take that decision immediately following the end of the war. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf actually she dropped the ball on this. She didn't want to honor the TRC recommendations. So now we're going through this long route where some of the people who are accused in the TRC are sitting in the legislature and they got influence. So they cannot, that's the reason, my brother.
All right, let's take some calls. The callers are calling in. Let's take this person here. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, they got on the line. Always, Pastor Boy, your line is always like that.
Pastor Boy line always drop.
Yeah, always. So we take some more calls. 0770-102-102-886, 010383 555 102 plus 231 888 and you'll be live with us here on the Costa Show. Yeah, I think we need to have part 2 of the discussion with Councillor Gonglo. I think I need to bring him back on the show. Good morning.
Good morning to my own Mr. Gonglo. Good morning to you. In him, my vote is live. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning,
sir.
Yeah, Baka. I want to speak on a few points this morning. My number one point is when the ambassador said that 11% of the national budget. Baka, let's look at that national budget. That national budget, everything that is in that budget have never one day been accomplished. Everything has gone down the drain. If the expenses and whatsoever that come out of that budget is more than what is going to spend on the country, that means that the country is not going anywhere. As Mr. Bongo said before, Sierra Leone fought the same war, but today look at Sierra Leone. Let's look at Guinea, it's our neighbor. But Liberia is going down the drain every day. Why? Because we don't have a good leader. And let me come down again to what the ambassador said. The ambassador said that if people who are on sanction and now on the running race, he's not going to meet people. If America sanction you, that means that you are corrupt.
Okay.
And let's look at the tickets of everyone that is please. And then let's look at those names. Who is one of the person that is
once again your line have gone that way again. But thank you. You already made your points. And you know, Mr. Gonglo, the Liberia politics.
You have a caller? No caller. But let me say, Waka, let me say this. You know, there are some, I read some of the comments on the live view. There are some who say, oh, Councillor Gonglo is going nowhere. You're sitting on Costa Show and talking, Waka has already won. You know what? In 1997, we spoke against Charles Taylor. We were in minority. Charles Taylor went and won. Okay? So, in a country, majority can get it wrong. It doesn't mean when majority speak, it means they are right. When Chancellor won majority, actually, Chancellor won the election fairly. I was election magistrate in Nimba in 1997. I went from polling station to polling station. I deployed electoral workers, electoral polling staff. And I look at the master sheet. I collected votes from the various centers. I was sitting there in San Nicola in a room in the Superintendent compound collecting results in 1997. And Taylor won overwhelmingly. Okay? I agree. But was that a right vote? We saw what followed. And everybody knew electing Taylor was not the right thing. But what? Majority of the voting population felt that was the right thing. What did they regret? They regretted years later. So you can go on, you like your Baga Kun and you say, oh, in fact, one talk show said when Baga is elected, the money that will come to Liberia, you have never seen it in the history of Liberia. And I just smile. Because that person is not an economist. That person has never done one course in economics. He does not understand how the global economic system works. He does not understand that. You know, nobody gets lighter and money just not come to the country.
Mr. Gonglo, what I think the callers and even the commenters are saying is that Mr. Councillor Gonglo is a good man. We all know that he's a good man. And we all know what role he played back then. But the issue about power, most especially the presidency, is a different tax. In a sense, once you don't have that power yet, you can say all of the positive things to get that power. You can say all of the nicest things, the nice things to win that power. But if the power is given to you, then you live up to your promise. That's the time that we can know that you stand up for a cause. They say, if you want to know a true color of a man, give them power. So when we talk about Councillor Gonglo, let's leave a space in between to know that he had one way or the other fall short of some things. And he will not just be a clean person when giving the mantle of authority of our country. So what I'm trying to say here is Mr. Gonglo, Mr. Councillor Gonglo, should be tested first.
But
when he's giving,
what test do you want?
Let's conclude, then you will come in there.
Okay,
when he's tested and he proved to us that yes, I stand up for this fight, I stand up for this reason, and like others, Ambassador Boaka haven't been given the state, the presidency, the vice presidency position. Does a vice president make any critical decision for the country in Liberia? I would say not that much. Ambassador Boaka was a vice president. He's spearheaded the Senate, of course. What time that Ambassador Boaka will make a statement there in the Senate when there's a bill on the floor and it go tied, that's the time he will come and make that decision. So what I'm trying to say here is that, yes, of course, Councillor Gonglo is a good man. He's good. Ambassador Boaka is a good man. Kumi is a good man. Whosoever, we know all of them.
So Boaka, is that your question? Can I then speak to that? Because I think you're explaining more now.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that if we just haven't tested them yet, we will not know if they are all good.
Councillor Gonglo has been tested many times. So let me take. Okay, so Boaka, let me unpack. I think you have said many things. Let me you said many things. Let me unpack some of the things you said.
Of course, Mr. Gonglo Councillor Gonglo have been tested, but not with the presidency. The presidency is a different thing by itself.
Boaka has never been tested also with the presidency. Joseph Boaka has never been tested with the presidency.
So that's what I'm saying.
So in fact, you know what? So let me unpack some of the things you said. Joseph Boaka's supporters believe that he is quote clean person, right? You hear them say that, right? That he's corruption free, right?
Yes.
Councillor Gonglo people say he's corruption free, right? Okay, great. Why did they come to that conclusion? It's because they are making reference to the both men public service records. That's why they came to that same conclusion. But here is what I will say. I said earlier when I spoke that before the tree falls, it casts a shadow. So that means if somebody does not have power, but the little power they have, you see what they're doing with that power. Councillor Gonglo was Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia. The Solicitor General, yes, you work under the Minister of Justice, is now an independent office like in the US. The Solicitor General is in the office of the Solicitor General in the Department of Justice is independent because you can even prosecute the Justice Minister. I mean the Justice Minister in the US or the Secretary, the Department of Justice, you can prosecute them. The Solicitor General, you are independent. You can even bring indictment on other officials in the executive as well as in the Congress because you are independent. In Liberia, the office of the Solicitor General is not independent. It's under the Minister of Justice. But here is why some of the things he did. And I will say this and also give credit to President Salih on that. She was very tolerant and willing to some extent, even though she was being pulled left and right. There is a fellow called Ambola Miami. He lives in Fargo, North Dakota. He's on Spoon Network. He's a surrogate and supporter of Councillor Gonglo. Ambola Miami explained publicly. I've not met Ambola Miami before. In fact, he contacted me. He said, I'd like to support your brother. And here is the reason. And he went publicly to explain. He said, as a sedition, he was among those that were arrested during the demonstration when Kofi Annan visited Liberia along with Moluba Molo. He said, when they took him to the police station, Councillor Gonglo was called in. The police has prepared the charge sheet for them for public disturbance and whatever. They were going to take them to court, to the city magistrate court. And Councillor Gonglo said, no, these folks, did they vandalize any property or they were just demonstrating? He said they've committed no crime. The Constitution guarantees their right for what they did. You set them free. He said in his presence, and it was unprecedented in the history of Liberia for a Solicitor General to come and disagree with police action and ask the police to set them free. And they set them free at that moment. He said from that day, he reached a new level of respect for Councillor Gongo. That's why when he said he wants to be, he said, but this guy doesn't get power drawn. He has power to tell the police to arrest this person, to do this, but he didn't let that get in his head. That's the person I'm talking about. Okay? That's why some people are prepared to put their neck on the chopping board and say, this guy, if he can be Solicitor General, he can be Minister of Labor, and he can walk away and not use power that others have used. And you look at the law, you say, I don't have this power to use it. I can do this. Then he's somebody he's already been tested. Because to be Solicitor General, you decide which case government will take to court. You can even have a case in court as Solicitor General. You can call the county and tell and say, look, I want you not to prosecute that case. I want government to drop that case or that charge. And it's dropped automatically. Once government withdraw from the case and tell the judge you're dropping the case, that's it. So he's been tested on that. Just as those who support Joseph Boaga believe that he's been to LPNC, he's been assistant minister on Ottawa, he's been under Ellen Johnson Sally, and they say, okay, he has no trace of corruption, so he's a good man. It's the same way Councillor Gongo supports us, and me, I know him as a brother, and I know what he can do and what he can do. I'm not saying he's perfect. No one on earth is perfect. But I know that brother knows his limitation.
Yeah,
he knows his left and right. I know that.
Mr. Gonglo, my point here is that they haven't been tested with the presidency. You can be tested with ministerial job, you can be tested with vice presidency, you can be, but the presidency is a different case by itself.
So
Boaga,
if you argue that way, then if that is a serious argument, then maybe we should just say nobody should ever be president of Liberia. We should just have the office of the president vacant, because you know what? People, there will always be that element of uncertainty and doubt that what would this person do with power if we give them power, if we don't trust. But for me, we can look at the records of Councillor Gonglo and say, this man was Solicitor General. This man, when he was Solicitor General, he did some things that the public is not aware. Some of the things he did. For example, when Charles Julu was arrested by government, he was in the National Security Council meeting, and he said he was the only person that descended in that had a disagreement with President Salif and other members of the National Security Council. That the evidence that you have here about audio, about this phone video recording, that Julu and others are plotting to walk through, that evidence cannot stand in court, madam. But you know what? It was former Salif, the NSA, that has collected this evidence that Julu and others were trying to walk through. And according to him, he told President Salif, madam, you are the first female president democratically elected in Africa. You have a global iconic status. For you to say somebody wants to walk through you, your evidence must be overwhelming. We should catch them with gun. In fact, maybe they should be shooting and we arrest them. That evidence, we should not take torchlight to look for the evidence. If we take torchlight to look for the evidence, it means we are looking for trouble. Let us not prosecute. Send the NSA guy or informer working with Julie and others. Let them follow it until at a point when they acquire weapons and other things, they are ready to move, then the government can arrest them. They said no.
All right, let's take
So he didn't even go to court. He said, I'm not going to the court. I will let him. We'll hire private prosecutor to join the Montserrat County Attorney Samuel Jacob at the time to prosecute this case. As Solicitor General, he did not go there. Okay? Because he said this case is a cartoon. I'm not going there. And government lost the treason charge against Julie and all of us. That's the main record. He stood up to his own boss quietly, not public. Told her, I will not do this. Okay. So
I take that two more calls and we wrap it up here on the show because we are already going out of time. So, folks, 2 calls plus 231-888-624171. Call and be a part of the discussion. Plus 231-888-624171 is the number 0770-102-102. Let's take this person here. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, but I'm here against Sorrow Camaro.
Calling to us.
But now I understand what is got. I understand what the guy is saying right now. This guy is supposed to be tell the people what your candidate can do, but not to go after the other candidate.
Yeah.
Just explain what Mr. Gongo can do. We understand Mr. Gongo is a good guy, but right now he's not marketable. So let's just tell what the man can do. That's all we want from him. But you can start taking his opponent.
No, my brother. My brother, pause. Let me tell you this. It's good that Bwaga Kamara is here, is listening to you. Bwaga Kamara is a moderator on this show, right? When I wake up in the morning, I come here, I don't even know what Bwaga going to discuss. He sets the agenda. If Bwaga says, let's talk on the U.S. ambassador statement, then as soon as he asks and say, you know what, Councillor Gonglo is the best person. I don't answer Bwaga question. Oh, Councillor Gonglo get a record. It will not follow the number. You will be laughing at me and say, oh, but the man, when Bwaga asks him question, he can leave the question and say different thing. So when Bwaga asks me a question, I have to answer that question. If Bwaga comes in the morning and say, tell us why you think Councillor Gonglo is the best person to take over from we are, then I will start talking. So Bwaga asks question, then I answer. That's how it works. Bwaga is a moderator. I am a panelist. I'm not a guest. I didn't come here as a guest like you bring guests on the show to talk. I have joined the Costa Show as a panelist. Okay?
All right, Mr. Gungo. Our last caller here on the phone line. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Bwaga Kamara. Good morning.
Yeah, your name, where joining us from?
Well, I'm a unit member that call from the U.S., Bwaga.
Welcome.
First of all, I'd like to extend my thanks and appreciation to you for the brilliant edition of the Costa Show. Mr. Bwaga, remember, Joseph Bwaga wants to run for public office. It is incumbent upon all Liberians to bring it on the microscope for scrutiny. It was the same Mr. Bwaga who told Liberians that he had the capability to lead Liberia, that he was transparent today. Mr. Bwaga has flocked with Alex Tyler, who has stolen from the Liberian people. Mr. Bwaga, Bama Samuka, who stole the AFL money. Jeremiah Cole, chairman of West, deputy co-chairman of Westminster Finance. These guys run criminal cartel. Must we give Liberia to these individuals? Mr. Joseph Bwaga was accused in the past many years ago. What is the transparency we're talking about here, Bwaga? What is the clean hands we're talking about? Look, we must fix this country. Mr. Bwaga has so many complications. Like, we need a leader who has the capacity, who has good health ability to address the part of the people. Somebody with complication, multiple complications, must lead our country and leave our country to Jeremiah Cone to be president for Liberia. Criminal Jeremiah Cone. So we must be careful for Liberia. Bama Samuka is still alive. What is the transparency Bwaga has? Where is the transparency? Has he shown transparency? The incident was here in Mr. Costa. You saw that. Was that transparency? Look, let's be careful. The repetition of the word should not be used in that manner. Mr. Bwaga has no transparency. The land issue with Bwaga, has he resolved the land issue?
All right, thank you so much. We have to hold you there. And we'll come to Mr. Gonglo. Sorry, we have to hold you there and come to Mr. Gonglo to, you listen to the callers and your parting because we have gone above our time today. And it's good that you are here and be a part of the discussion this morning.
Yeah, but I can hear what I was saying. I'm just reading some of the comment here. My brother wants to be president of Liberia. I believe he has what it takes to transform that country, based on his past record, based on his understanding of Liberian history, based on what he's done, based on the sacrifices he has made, and he knows what needs to be done. His stance on various issues in the past is very clear. In this very Philadelphia I live, I'm going to call a few names. There is a fellow in Monroeville now called Edwin Dennis. He works for the WIA government. Here in Philadelphia, there is a fellow called Fred Goyen. Ambassador Bwaga visited Philadelphia right after Ebola, I believe was out of 2015 or, yeah, I believe around there. Millions of dollars came to Liberia, if not billions, in relief help for Liberia. And that money was mismanaged, both by the government of Liberia and by the international community. An American journalist working for, I believe, the New York Times asked Ambassador Bwaga about the existence, the widespread corruption in the government at the time in 2015. Ambassador Bwaga responded, it was at the Lutheran Church in Upper Darby. His response to that question of corruption under the Ellen Bwaga-led government was that corruption is everywhere. He said even in the US there is corruption. So he dismissed the question of corruption or rampant corruption. For me, these are records that are out there. And for me, it represents a shadow of a tree that is falling. Where does Bwaga stand on corruption? He may not personally be corrupt, but he also may not have I don't think he has the courage to take a decisive stand on corruption. He may call someone quietly and reprimand them quietly and say, hey, don't do this again. But I don't know if he has the capacity and the courage to go publicly on that, because he defended corruption. In fact, it was a big argument in Philadelphia when he made that statement. He said corruption is everywhere. And the records are out there, Yeah, it's been a good show.
Okay. All right. So thanks so much, Mr. Gonglo. We'll be back here tomorrow. And we can keep going on with this. Liberia is all we have. We just have to love this country and make a better place for every one of us.
I don't think many Liberians love Liberia.
If la Mr. Gonglo win la if la councilor Mr. Alekohi Mr. Kumiso win when I Joya will win when I just want us to have a peaceful election, wall of violence, everything will go smoothly because Liberia, we are tired with all of this up and down. So as we conclude on today, join us tomorrow. It will be another fascinating discussion. And our team will be here. Talenton will be here. Teves will be here. And Mr. Gonglo will be here as well. So join the team tomorrow. We'll be back here with a brand new edition of
Teves.
Yeah, Teves is a little busy this morning. That's why he couldn't come on.
Because he was exploding on the Blue app yesterday, man. You are following him?
Yeah.
He was exploding. I said, look, let somebody take Teves' phone away from him. Teves was behaving like Donald Trump yesterday. You were just saying, oh, Mo Ali this, Mo Ali was Chairman Bo. There's this video, there's this other one. I'm like, what is going on here? Teves, calm down.
Sure.
I was sorry, I said, Teves, shut down that phone. Don't talk. Stop posting.
Okay.